Hi everybody, today I'm going to be making another set of earrings using this shape from my filigree template set that I got of 120 pieces from Panda Hall off of Amazon, and I will be putting the link there. So with these now, I want to paint them. They're in the color brass. They have multiple shapes and sizes, and I could only find the shapes that I liked in brass. So sometimes I paint them with nail polish, and that's what I'm going to use. Now, I've used paint before, but I actually like the way the nail polish looks a lot better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black nail polish and I'm going to paint them. Now I'm going to paint the backs first, and you can tell the back and the front because the back is flat and the front is slightly raised. So once the back dries, then I'm going to flip it over and paint the front, and then after that I'm going to glue some acrylic gemstones. So I might use one of these, and you can get them anywhere. They come in different shapes and different sizes and different colors, and they're just like plastic, and they have like a metal on the back. This one's a little dirty because I had used it for something else, but I peeled it off of what I used it for, and I'm going to reuse it. No sense of throwing it out. So I'm going to get started, and when it's done, and when I glue that, then I'm going to hook some beads all around it. So let's get started. I take the nail polish and I shake it really well. You can even use like a glitter nail polish if you want to use that as well. So I make sure I got the back of it, because I want to do the back first, because then I can do the front and then I can glue my things to it. And you want to get a toothpick. The reason being is when you paint it, you could stick it in the hole like that, and then you don't have to touch it and get it all over your fingers, or then have to go around your finger. So now that it's all good and shook up, in the beginning you can kind of hold it until you get to the part where you no longer have a spare spot. And just really make sure that you got it on. I'll be taking it off of here. Now you can use any kind. You could even put like a glitter on here to make it sparkle, which I might do once it's dry. I've got to take a look at it and see, do I want it to sparkle? Do I like it the way it is? If you didn't want shiny, you can get flat. It's all up to you. If you wanted to use paint, you can, and I have paint and I've used it, but I actually like the way the nail polish finish comes out better. So you might like that too. Now you might have to put a few coats of that on, and you want to spread it out so it doesn't glob in one area. So remember, use your toothpick. Make sure you're getting all around it and the sides of it too when you're painting it. Again, I'm using the toothpick to hold it still so I don't have to put my finger there, and I don't have to worry about getting it all over my finger and not being able to actually paint that spot because my finger would be on it. So, and I get the sides, and I give it a good once over. Make sure I didn't miss anything, and I'll look at the other one. Remember, we still have the other side to do. And since it's nail polish, it dries a lot faster than paint, but I wouldn't go ahead and like start wearing it because nail polish really has to seal in. And if you wanted to use like a sealing coat to seal it up, you can do that as well. I'm gonna let this dry now. But first, I'm going to take a peek at it. I'm just going to put my toothpick through here, look at it, move this, and lay it down like that so it can dry, because the paper towel is all gooey and wet. So, whoops. Oh. Hopefully it didn't take off any paint. Just going to do a touch-up That's it. You can put this aside. You could start painting something else. So I'm going to put this aside for now so it can dry. And I'm going to look for something glittery. I think I want to make it a little sparkly. So that's what I'm going to do while this dries. Okay, so I went over it with a little sparkle. I don't know if you can see it with the light. It's a little sparkly. For the black with a black sparkle that I found, it's like really cheap nail polish from like Five Below, and it looks like this. So you can do that too. I'm going to wait for the back to dry and then I'm going to do the front, so I'll be right back. Okay, so now I'm going to check to see if this is dry. Now I don't know if you're even getting that glittery look. I can sort of see it. So it's dry. Fortunately, when you use nail polish, it dries really fast opposed to paint. So I don't think it's going anywhere. So, I mean, if you want to use nail polish, go right ahead, even to sell. So, all right, now I'm going to put my coat on the front. So we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to get I'm going to face it towards me now, and shake your nail polish really good. You don't have to get expensive nail polish. And use your little toothpick. Make sure you get the little hangy thing, the top, with your toothpick. So before I add the second part, which is the glittery part, I want this to dry. Otherwise it'll just get sucked up in the black part of that. So I'm going to get my toothpick and I'm going to gently pick this up so it can dry. Do that again. Okay, so now I'm gonna let it dry. Okay, so now it's good and dry. I'm gonna make sure that it's not tacky and that it's dry on both sides. And I'm going to start hooking up the beads. I'm going to use silver as my findings, and what that is would be jump rings. Now I can use any color because it's black, so anything would look good. Now I picked out some acrylic gemstones, but I'm not really sure whether I want to go with the pinkish or the purple and all that. And of course I have some earring hooks, but I'm going to do that after. My beads, these are just regular black teardrop beads. You can get them anywhere, and I'm going to hang them all on the edges. So you're going to need your tools. Now you want to glue your acrylic gemstones last, because if you're messing with it and holding it and trying to attach all the beads, you don't want to knock the acrylic gemstone off, because with the E6000 glue, which is what we use, and it's the best glue to use when jewelry making, it takes about 20 minutes to set, which is good because you can move it around and play with it and make sure that everything's in the center. But to get a good glued, adhered attachment, you should wait 24 hours from the time that you did it for it to really be secure and totally glued. But if you mess with it and it's not totally secured, then you can knock that out of whack. It'll come out of the center, it'll fall off. So it's best to do that as your very last step. So if you're doing anything that has to have glue on it, do that last. So I already had the jump ring on these. These were on something else that I had made that I don't use. And it's a 6mm jump ring. They are in silver. I could use the brass, the pewter, or I could get black findings. I don't have black findings, so I'm going to use that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach one right at the bottom, and I'm going to hold it with my needle nose pliers and then take it with my chain nose or round nose, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that it is closed. So this is the front, and it's going to go like that. Now I'm going to do the other side. So now I'm going to continue doing that all the way around, and I'm not going to bore you and do that all, but I'm just going to show you a little something, a little trick. Instead of going through every one of these holes, because they're going to end up overlapping, what you want to do is maybe skip a hole. So you did the middle, skip a hole, and then go to another one. This way they'll sit better, and you won't need as many beads, because then they'll just end up falling on top of each other if you do it to all the rings. So I'm going to finish doing this, and I'll be right back to show you how that looks before we start gluing the gemstones. So now I have 3 hanging there, and it might look nice just with 3, but I want to add a few more. Okay, so here it is. I think I reached my limit. I think hanging 5 of them, it looks good enough. If you're getting that, I think if I added 2 more to be too busy. I like that. So that's what you should do. You should check and see how you like it. And hold it up at different angles, see if that works for you. I could always add 2 more and see if I like it, and if I don't, I can remove it. Okay, so I added 2 more. Now I think that's better. I think 6 worked out better than 5, because this is the 6 and this is with just 5. So I really like the way, and I'm going to lay this down so you can kind of see it. I like the way the 6 looks versus the 5. Okay, so now before I glue the acrylic gemstones there, I'm going to do the earring hooks. Again, you want to do anything you have to work with before you start gluing anything. So now this is your chance if you want to add a bead or anything else, but I think just going ahead and adding the earring hooks is just fine. I'm using a silver one. Again, if you want to use a dark, if you want to use a black jump rings and black earring hooks, or brass or pewter to not stand out so much, you can do that too. But I have this and I figured why not? It'll go. I want it to match my jump rings. So remember, you're going to look where the front and the back is. The back is flatter, the front is slightly raised. So you want to put your earring in fish hook. You want to put your earring hook properly. So you're going to have the part that goes through your ear facing the back, and the other part obviously facing the front, because you want it to sit the correct way. Otherwise you'll have the back facing you and the front the other way. Okay, so that's done, and now I'm going to do the other side, and then we will begin picking out what acrylic gemstones, what color, because I'm really not sure at this point. So okay, so I've gone ahead and did that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this flat and get the hooks out of the way, because I'm going to start gluing my gemstones. Now I can put a gemstone right here with the little section and one here, or I could just do one here. What I'm going to do is, I'm not really sure what color. I was thinking of the darker purple, but I don't have, and I was going to do this little thing right here, but I don't have another one of the little ones. Now I do have in this color that, but that looks kind of weird, and I don't really like that, and it's a shame because I really wanted another one of those. Or it's this color. So I'm really wanting the purple, but then the pink looks nice. So there's the problem. If you're getting the color, the light kind of drowns things out in a way. Okay, so I decided on the pink rather than the light purple, only because I didn't have the right shape. What I'm going to do is going to situate the lighting. I'm going to get you down here a little closer. Now I'm going to get my E6000 glue and take the lid off. You should make sure everything's all around you and all ready. And clear a spot. Get some tweezers. Make sure you have your toothpick with you. You're going to get the glue. Okay, so I'm going to use the pink, and I'm gonna, if you can't pick it up with the tweezers, that's okay. Go ahead and use your fingers. Whatever works for you, whatever's easier. So I'm gonna do the top pieces first, and I'm going to get my little one. Whoops. So I'm going to take my toothpick and I'm going to squeeze a little tiny bit of glue on the tip of it. And on the back of the acrylic gemstone, I'm going to just put a little bit of the glue and then put it down. And then I'm going to scooch it over to the center and press down. And then make sure it's centered. Now let's do the other little one as well, and I'm going to get a little more glue. Remember, you don't need a lot of glue. And again, this gives you some room to move. Now you can always take a clean one if you get a clean toothpick and then go around the edge, but I did this, it was pretty neat. So you make sure that that's on there correctly. I'm going to lay this flat. So now we're going to do the center pieces. And again, you could use your tweezer if you want, or you can use your fingers. Somehow the tweezer doesn't want to work for me today, so I'm just going to do that. And now I'm going to get a little glue and put it on the back. Like I said, you don't need a lot because this will spread. You don't want this oozing out all over when you press down. But you want enough that it's going to glue. All right, so we're going to put it down. And don't worry, like I said, if you get it, because you could always scrape it off the clean toothpick. Once you got it situated, and make sure you can look at it from all angles, and press down, and look at it, and then that's it. Now we're going to go do the other last one. Get any on your fingers. Now I'm going to press down. And I like that the E6000 glue gives you some time to move it around. Now look at them both together side by side. Make sure everything is sitting the same way, because you don't want one sitting higher than the other, because it might not look right, because they're... Okay, now if you see pieces of the glue on the edge, just go around with the clean toothpick. So I'm just going to go and lay it on this side just in case I got any glue. And I'm going to let that dry. And now I'm going to take, once that dries, I'm going to take a Q-tip with a little rubbing alcohol, because that really shines it up from your fingerprints or from any glue that might have got on it. And you're better off using the rubbing alcohol. Do not try to go in with soap and water. You don't want it to drip, you want to kind of blot it. Okay, so once you've let this dry up a little and adhere, you're going to get your rubbing alcohol and a Q-tip, and you're going to put a little bit on the Q-tip and kind of blot it out, and then very gently go over the acrylic gemstone. And you see how it shines it up immediately? It gives it a nice shine. And you want to wait for that to be dry and adhered. Okay, and that's all you have to do. Once your fingerprints are off, any glue off the side, You see there wasn't that much and I blotted it. That's all you need, and it's nice and clean and it gives it a good shine. And that's it. This is the kind I use. You can use any kind as long as it's alcohol, rubbing alcohol, not witch hazel. There they are. They're simple, they're easy. Hope you enjoyed this video. And now some pictures. So here are the earrings all finished. So you can see how that looks. I used 6 of the beads below. I used the light pink acrylic gemstones with the silver findings, silver jump rings, silver earring hooks. And there they are. And if you can see the sparkle of different colors with the black sparkle, or glitter I should say, that I went over it. It's subtle, but you can see it when the light catches it. And that's what it's gonna look like. And there you go. Without it, it's a little dark in here. I'll put the light back on. So that's it. These earrings are really fast, really simple. And again, look for the link for the 120 piece filigree set. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.